I have a piece of knife history here. This is the Blackie Collins Strut and Cut. This paved the way for the modern day assisted folding knife. This was literally the first assisted folder. Okay, now the design is extremely innovative. It's a very poor design. I don't like it, I wouldn't carry it, but recently I had the opportunity to pick one of these up. I was actually doing a trade with someone and it went successful, as it usually does, and they're like, hey, what else you got, you know, and they kind of poked around and offered this, and I'm like, hell yeah, I gotta jump on that, because this is a great way to teach the younger generations, you know, about some of the history of knives and where these designs came from. So back in the day, Blackie Collins and Bill Meyer got together, of Meyerco. Okay, most of the Meyerco knives are Blackie Collins designs, and they came up with this design. Okay, this is so popular, the idea of having a spring inside. You can probably see the mechanism here inside the handle, so as you were opening this, it would spring open, and similarly when you close it, it would stay shut as well. Okay, pretty damn cool, right? So innovative that in 1997 it won Blade Show's title for most innovative American design. Yeah, that's going back a little bit. 97. God, that makes me feel old. But anyway, yeah, this is the first assisted knife. So what we have here is some heavy jimping going in that direction. So use your finger. Now, using my pointer finger, that rips the hell out of my finger. I mean, that's super, super uncomfortable. I don't know if you can see that, but little marks on my finger there. It's actually much more comfortable to use a thumb. So hold it kind of sideways here. Use a thumb to whip that open. Now it is assisted opening. We know assisted openers now where we move it that much and the thing shoots out, right? Well, back in the day, the first one here doesn't actually grab that spring until about right here. So right there. So you're basically opening this up like 75% or 80% of the way before it springs open. So there's your spring action, you know, from here to here. Whoa, crazy, right? But obviously in one fluent motion, it just helps to assist the opening as well as closing the knife. All right. Remember, this is back in '97. This is pretty innovative stuff back then. Now, as far as the actual, you know, design, you can see we have a fairly small blade here, a chunky big handle. It actually feels really nice. It may not look all that great in the proportions. It may not be super slick or slimline or anything, but it is super comfortable. All right, so here's a little close-up of our locking mechanism. As you can see here again, in the unlock position, you can both open and close the knife. Okay. To lock it, you're going to rotate this piece all the way around so that the red is covered. Okay, and the window is on the frame here. Now the blade is locked, and actually locks up very tightly, okay? If I really crank on it, there's a tiny bit of up and down and a little bit of side to side, but not that bad. And especially considering, you know, the era of knives, not all of them were super tight back then anyway. So that's how the knife locks. So you can lock it, but, you know, once you use this, you know, assisted opening technology, you had to go back, and with your other hand, you can't do this one-handed. You have to use your other hand to rotate that to lock it. Okay, and vice versa, once you unlock it to close the knife, you can lock it in the closed position. However, the knife still opens up to here. Okay, this is where the locking mechanism stops at here. All right, so it's not going to accidentally, you know, open, but you're still exposing, you know, that blade. So that is how the lock actually works. It's inconvenient, to say the least, to have to use both hands to get to that. But certainly innovative. All right, so you can see here our pocket clip is plastic. All right, it works totally fine. I know, you know, if I were to hyperextend this, it would just snap off, which is no good. Obviously, we know, you know, plastic molded clips are just not popular, and for good reason. But it does work. You can see here Blackie Collins design, Meyerco fine cutlery, patent pending. All right, the front again, Blackie Collins original design. All right, pretty interesting here. The Strut and Cut, second generation. All right, see blade steel on this is an AUS 8A. All right, on the back there, Meyerco. Just pretty damn cool. So there you go. This is, like I said, this paved the way for what we use today, or what we know as assisted knives in today's day and age. After this design came out, there was lots of companies that were obviously interested. I would say one of the most successful was probably Kershaw. When Kershaw hit the scene with the torsion bar and their assisted opening mechanism, it went crazy. I remember just everyone in the knife scene had some kind of Kershaw, whether it was the chive. The Ken Onion Leek has to be one of the most popular assisted knives out there, period. And of course, there's a slew of other models that came and went as well. And then other companies jumped on board, and there was a free-for-all, so pretty much, I wouldn't say every company, but most knife companies have some kind of assisted option. It's just really fun. I mean, the whole idea is that you have a knife that's automatic, but legal, right? That's the whole concept there, is you can have something that whips out really fast and is super cool and super convenient, but it gets around the law, which in most places, unfortunately, very outdated Switchblade Act does not allow people to have automatic knives. But that's how that mechanism works, is you have a spring, and I can't take it apart right now to show you this, but the way the tang is shaped, at some point here, the spring wants to go forward, and it keeps it shut, so you don't have to worry about detent. It's not going to open up easily anyway, or stay open, even if it gets bumped. And then vice versa, once it gets to this point here, it wants to stay out. It doesn't want to shut. But of course, you can lock that up to have more stability when you're using it. Pretty damn cool. So that was the first assisted knife. I'm glad we went a long way and improved on this design. Many different companies did. It's pretty cool. Assisted knives are very much a big part of the knife industry today, especially with EDC knives. There's automatic knives, manual knives, and assisted knives. And I'd love for you guys down below to comment on what kind of knife you carry, whether it's automatic, manual, or assisted, or hey, all of the above. So there you go. Just thought I'd share this with you. It was a very cool opportunity to pick one up. Probably will eventually end up selling this. It's a little piece of history, which is very cool, which I kind of want to hang on to it just for that fact that it is a historical knife in that sense. It definitely opened doors and ideas for a lot of different companies and a lot of different knives. But I'm not going to personally use it. It's for a knife buff or a knife enthusiast, it's a very cool piece of the collection, but more to tell a story. Or if you're talking about knives with someone, to whip it out and say, hey, you like your assisted knife? Well, this is the reason it exists. Because of Bill Meyer and Blackie Collins, you can enjoy your assisted knife today. So there you go. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.